Before, the focus this week is on tenses, and today we're going to start off by looking at the simple past tense. So our LO says to use the simple past tense and the past progressive tense. So to start with, I want you to think about what do we mean when we talk about tense in English, and what does it mean when we talk about the past tense? Well, tense is a way of showing whether something has happened, is happening, or is going to happen. So when we talk about the past tense in English, we're talking about events that have happened. So past tense describes events that have happened, and we'll start off with this part in our LO to use the simple past tense because it's the one you'll be most familiar with. It's the one that you use most regularly when you're using spoken English or written English. So simple past tense, and sometimes you'll hear people call it the past simple. Simple past tense describes events that happened at a specific time and are now finished. For example, she read a book. She read a book last night. She read a book last week. She read a book on Wednesday. Jim ate his lunch. Jim ate his lunch yesterday. Jim ate his lunch at 12 o'clock. We played football. We played football in the park at the weekend. So they're events that have happened and happened at a specific time and are now completed. So I'd like you to help me by identifying the verbs down below and identify the ones that are in the simple past tense. So if you want to pause the film, that's fine, and then restart it when you're ready. So we're looking at verbs that have happened. Simple past, he fell. He fell off his bike yesterday. We went shopping at the weekend. These are the only two that are in the past tense. Oh, actually, sorry, lifted. He lifted her off her bike in the afternoon. Bit of a strange one. He lifted up the shopping earlier on. Identify the verbs in the simple past tense in the sentence below. Jessie got into the swimming pool when her instructor gave her the signal. So my two verbs that have happened, Jessie got into the swimming pool and the instructor gave her the signal. Okay, time for you to help me out. So pause the film when you're ready and then restart it. Excitedly, the boys scooted to the park and met up with their friends. And then here's one for you to have a go at by yourself. Last night there was a storm and it rained heavily. Right, was, the verb to be, this is in the past tense, simple past tense. There was a storm and it rained heavily. Now we've also got a second type of form of the past tense, and it's called the past progressive tense or the past continuous tense. And this describes events that happened in the past over a period of time. So it says down here, the past progressive tense, or is also called the continuous past tense, is used to describe actions that were happening. So they were in progress, which is why we use the name the past progressive tense. And there's not necessarily, we don't really give an idea of when they stopped happening, which is why we can also call it past continuous. So here you can see the comparison between the simple past tense and the past progressive tense. I played football. I played football last week. I was playing football. So it's an event that was in the past, but it was in progress. You swam in the sea. You were swimming in the sea. They walked the dog. They were walking the dog. We ate hot dogs. We were eating hot dogs. Right, I'd like you to have a look at the two different verb forms, and I'd like you to see if you can identify what is the rule for changing from the simple past tense to the past progressive tense. Have a look and see what the pattern is. Okay, hopefully you identified that we've added in was or were. So the correct form, I was, you were, they were, we were. And we've got our verb played to playing. Swim becomes swimming. Walked, walking. Ate, eating. So our rule is we need to add was or were and then the verb with its ing suffix. Okay, watch me. We've got our verb form come, and we're going to write it in the simple past, and then we're going to write it in the past progressive. So I know come is I came. Now, if I want to change it into the past progressive, I follow my rule. I know I need to use was or were, so I'm going to stick with I. I was, and then I take my verb form and I add the suffix ing. I was coming. Okay, fly. I'm going to stick with I. The past tense, simple past tense of fly is I flew. And now I'm going to change it into past progressive. So I know I need to add was. I was, and I take my verb form and add ing, flying. Right, let's use he. He, whoopsie, let's bring it down. He jogged. Don't forget to double your consonant, the G. He jogged. And now changing into the past progressive, I need to add was. He was, and then my verb form with the ing suffix. He was jogging. Break. Let's stick with they broke. They broke the vase. And then past progressive, they were, because we need to use was or were, they were breaking, because we need to add ing. Right. If you're feeling confident, pause the film and have a go by yourself. If you're not, do it with me. So, I'm going to start with I. If you want to just stick with I, that's absolutely fine all the way through, or you can change it. I ate. Right, past progressive. I was eating. I sang. I was singing. I jumped. I was jumping. Oopsie. I hopped. Don't forget to double that consonant. I was hopping. It's important you do double it, because if you didn't, that would be hoping. So I was hopping. Right, show me. So pause the film, have a go by yourself, and then check your answers. I walked. I was walking. Take care of the past tense form. I wrote. I was writing. I hit. I was hitting. Double your consonant. I drank. I was drinking. So we now can see we've got the pattern or rule we need to follow, which is we add was or were and the ing suffix to go between the simple past and the past progressive. Right, watch me. Rewrite the following sentence to include the past progressive. So Jordan makes breakfast while Sansa walks the dog. This is something that's happening now. So I need to use past progressive. So I'm going to start off with Jordan. And I know if it's all capital letter, I know if it's past progressive, I need was. Jordan was making breakfast while, capital letter, Sansa was walking the dog. Don't forget to full stop at the end. Okay, here's one for you to do. If you're feeling confident, pause the film. If not, do it with me. Rewrite the following sentence to include the past progressive verb. Dad swam in the sea while Mum made a sandcastle. So I can see it's in simple past. Dad, capital letter, was swimming in the sea while Mum was making a sandcastle with me. Full stop. And here's one for you to have a go at by yourself. So pause the film at this point and see if you can do it, how confident you are. Mum and Dad cleaned the house while the children had fun in the park. So Mum and Dad were, because of two of them, cleaning the house. I could never type there. In the house while the children were having fun in the park. Full stop. Right, you're ready to have a go at the task. You've got task 1 here, where you are need to change between simple past and the past progressive. There's also an extension task for you to do if you wish to.